Hello people of the world, how are my nobodies doing today? So in today's video, I'm going to be reading scary stories off of Reddit. I got my mood lighting, let's get into it. True story time. I was about 4 or 5 years old and my parents had just separated. My mom was living in a 2-bedroom apartment and I had my own room, but I preferred to sleep in her bed whenever I stayed with her. Our 2 bedrooms were at the end of the hallway, directly across from each other. My apartment was on the first floor, and I remember it was in the middle of summer and my mom had the windows open in her room, which was directly behind the bed, above the headboard. Anyways, I woke up in the middle of the night and remember sitting and seeing our cat sitting in the door frame of my mom's room. Her door was open and I could see partially into my bedroom. It was strange because our cat typically always sleeps with us. As I was watching him, he walked into the bedroom and meowed. I turned to face my mom to wake her up. In the 3 to 4 seconds it took her to wake up and ask me what was wrong, we both looked back up at the door frame, and there was a man standing by my open door, making his way out of my room. I still don't know how she managed to do it so quick, but my mom proceeded to pick me up and literally throw me out of the screen window again. We were both on the first floor and maybe a 3-foot drop to the ground. She quickly followed and we were able to start screaming for help and someone called 911. The police came and didn't see any signs of any forced entry. Only that the front door was unlocked, which led them to believe that the man must have exited that way. The strange thing was that my mom swore up and down that she had locked the door that night with a deadbolt and chain lock. About a week later, she was cleaning the kitchen and opened up the water heater closet and found a note with names and drawings, as well as a pair of gloves and some gum wrappers. The police was called again, and all they could do was speculate that the man had been in our house and hid until we were asleep. Hello? Oh, and that's the end of it. Jesus. So some guy just, like, hid out in their house? I can only imagine if they didn't do that, if that cat never woke them up, was he gonna kill them or was he gonna just rob their house? Cats are the OG. That's why we like cats here. A terrifying but true story that I experienced when I was 12. I moved to my dad's when I was 10 and I didn't know anyone in the area, except for the family my dad was friends with. Single mom with 3 kids. Lucky there was a girl a couple years older than me, 12 at the time that I met her. And we got to know each other a little over a couple years. We weren't close, but we ended up having the same friends. One night, my friend Rob was hanging out with her and her younger brother. They happened to be in the house alone because my friend's mom was at work, which is where it gets terrifying and sad. Her mom had been helping one lady through her work and got to know her family well. She found out her sister was in a mental institution and was recently let out. Okay. The night Rob was hanging with my friend, they got a knock at the door. My friend thought it was just their mom, like she knocked in a certain way when coming in, and answered it without thinking. Rob wasn't supposed to be there, and he took off through the window of his house down the road. Never thought twice about it. It wasn't her mom. It was the sister of the lady her mom was helping. She figured out through talking to her sister where her family lived, and her mom's working schedule. She came in, and this is where I don't know the details, and I'm glad I don't. My friend's younger brother got away to the neighbors and called the police. The lady brutally murdered my friend a week before decapitated her and left her body naked in the bathtub. Hid her head. They had to look through the presents and didn't know where to find it, but they did, and I wasn't allowed to go to her funeral. Jeez. I wonder if these are all true, because that's terrifying. This happened to my wife's grandmother about 15 years ago. About 15 years ago, while we were still dating. Her husband had just passed away about a year previously, but she had gone down to the library volunteering, exercising, socialization. This was in the winter, so we walked back while it was getting dark. The library closes at 5, and then there was some extra stuff to do before everyone actually left. And on a particular night, she turned down a ride home with another volunteer because, damn it, she needs to stay in shape. The house is about a mile away, though some lightly wooded area in South Texas. As she about halfway home, she notices someone behind her. She's walking the same direction and is gaining on her, which itself isn't that particular, and thus not she is old and thus not particularly fast. But in this case, he seemed vaguely sinister. About 50 yards, it happens. Strong I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say hand. Strong hand on her shoulder. Okay, bitch, don't turn around. Hand over your purse, or I'll fucking cut ya. Jeez. She stops for a second, takes one big step forward, turns, and shoots the guy in the neck with the .38 she kept. Oh my lord. .38 she kept in her purse. Hey, it's Texas. That validates shooting a guy in the neck. Okay. The guy spent 5 years in prison. How did this guy live? How did he live? In prison. Oh, in a prison hospital before he died of complications. My wife's grandmother passed away last year. Up to the end, she pulled the trigger too soon. My late husband would have been embarrassed to know I missed. These aren't too bad. I just don't feel like half of these are real. I mean, it's Reddit, so you never know, but I was sitting in my room after getting out of work on the second floor. Little bro is downstairs watching TV, and the dog is in the hallway outside my room sleeping. All of a sudden, the dog starts making all kinds of racket, jumping around, barking, clicking nails, howling. I go to get up to see what's up, and I hear, "Aw, that's a good girl," in a male's voice. It didn't sound like my little bro, so I go, "Oh, you're home early?" Thinking that my dad's friend or our roomie, as I open the door. As soon as I'm out there, there's no one at all but the dog wagging his tail, staring at the empty end of a hallway. Little bro comes upstairs yelling at me for getting his dog all riled up. Said he heard the same voice thinking it was me, or our roommate. We did a once-over of our house with my butterfly knife and his BB gun, and there was no one. Still gives me the spooks to this day. Whew. Okay. Do you guys believe in the paranormal and ghosts? Because I'm super into that stuff. I love it. Watching all those shows, I could tell you about the stories I have in this place because it's only me. No one in my house has these experiences. It's because I live in the basement. Everyone else lives upstairs. So I get all of it. And then I have more personal stories about another place I live. Apparently ghosts just like me. Yup. A few years ago, I was home alone at night and I was watching some TV in the living room when I heard the doorbell ring. Whenever I heard the doorbell ring, especially when I'm home alone, I'm cautious to answer it. I walk up to the peephole without turning on the porch light, so they didn't know anyone was actually home or not. Looking through, it was really dark, but I could see a small figure, more like a black blob. I don't know its definite shape, and had about 3 to 4 feet, doing like a dance motion, dipping down its arms upwards. I think a person moving their arms like wings gracefully. It was dark outside, so the figure was more opaque, so I could see what was going on. After a few seconds I stopped looking through the peephole because I was too freaky to look at it. I regained some courage looking back through, and whatever it was gone. To this day, I still don't know what that was, and I get freaked out thinking about it. Jesus Christ, I just got the shivers. Just thinking about that, it was there, then it's gone, and now I have, huge paranoia that something's gonna be behind me. I don't like this. Okay, I think that one's the one that freaked me out the most, just because it's you don't know what it is, and it looks really weird and not human, but it's a dark figure, and then you look back and it's gone. That's fucked. I hate that. My ex-wife had several weird experiences. It's just related to this one. I'm at work one day and she calls me out of the blue. We were still married at the time. She usually did not call me during the day because she worked the night shifts. She tells me to call my friend Danny to make sure that he and his family are okay. When I ask why, she tells me that she had a dream but couldn't remember it, but that I should call Danny and make sure that he's okay. So I call Danny and check in on him. I tell him about my wife's dream. He mildly amused and tells me that he and his family are fine, and to thank my wife for her concern. I call her back to let her know that everything is well, and she's very dubious when she hears the news. I found out later, within half an hour of the phone call to Danny, that he got another call from his uncle in Florida to tell him that Danny's son had hung himself. I believe in that, yeah. I have dreams of myself, when I have weird experiences like that where I'll have very vivid dreams, and then within a certain period of time, it will happen in real life. Not exact events, because dreams are weird and you'll be on the top of a mountain for whatever reason, but the events that occur with you and another person, so with me and whoever else, it will happen, and it's freaky. It's like self-conscious saying like, yo, be prepared because this stuff's gonna happen to you. Or this person's gonna do this to you. Or something. And it's usually the ones I can remember. If I don't remember them, they're not gonna happen. But if I remember them, for some reason, they always happen. And this has been happening since I was in grade 3. Yeah. And it doesn't happen all the time, which is weird. So it's like, when I need to know something, I get the sign. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me read horror stories from the internet. If you liked what you watched, just put a like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you next time. This is just another nobody signing